What it is, guys, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm with you today with a very special guest to the channel. My man, Spectre, you want to give yourself a little introduction there, my man?
Yo, what it is?
What it is. Stealing my intro that I stole out and out.
It's not trademark.
I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix that right away. We're coming at you guys with a little review of DanMachi Episode 1, or DanMachi Season 2, technically. Episode 1. We're a little late on this, but honestly, we've been working hard to try to bring this to you guys. We've had a couple of... we've been doing a few revision changes on this. Can we call it revision changes?
Yeah, it's trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we got a working system, so what we're going to do going forward, we're going to release this kind of as like a episode 1 retrospective and then like a look forward to episode 2. And then hopefully we can get these out every Friday after the new episode drops. So let's first of all jump into this, but I want to talk a little bit about like the art style on this series, because it looks gorgeous and it looks almost identical to what they did before, don't you think?
Yeah, it looks almost the same, and I'm glad they brought back the original cast because they were amazing the first time around. And yeah, the art style is amazing. I'm glad it stayed the same.
Yeah, because it's so easy for a series to like come back and for them to change too much, and it doesn't have the same feel. But you're right, to have the same cast is another really great aspect to this. To say, okay, it is season 2. It's a proper season 2. Though I will say, the one thing I did notice, it looks like some of the detail, like the shading is a little bit different. The shape of like their hair is a little more rounded in places. The eyes seem to have a little more detail. It's different. It's like clearly updated.
Well,
But
it has been 10 years in the making. So it had to be a slight changes.
has it really been 10 years?
Yeah, I think the first season came out around 2009.
Damn, I didn't realize it'd been that long.
2009 or 2010, one of those two. But it's been a long time for sure.
Still, either way, the better part of a decade. So yeah, some upgrades are to be kind of understood. And on top of that, I think it's refreshing, because if you brought back exactly the same art style, it might not mesh with the current, anime lineup. But either way, I think it's really, really great that they brought it back. And especially with episode 0, they just kind of hit the ground running. They're like, all right, cool. You need a refresher? Boom, here's your refresher. Let's jump into episode 1. So I really liked that.
Yeah, it went. The recap. I didn't see the recap episode because I kind of remember what must have happened. But yeah, the recap episode was really good. It really got you hyped for it, and episode 1 did deliver on the hypeness.
Well, hold up. You skipped the recap episode.
Well, what do you mean I skipped it?
You skipped episode 0?
I didn't see it. No.
Bruh. You missed nothing.
Exactly.
All right, let's jump into this episode real quick.
Mhm.
Because, we'll get off track and we'll just derp.
Yeah.
So starting off with the first scene here where you have Belle, I keep wanting to call him Crozo because of the game, Welf, Lily, and the new addition to the kind of their former trio, Mikoto, which I thought was interesting.
It's really interesting to see her. I think we're going to see more about her character. We're going to find out more about what she is and what she does. We did get a little snippet during season 1 in the last fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's there. She's tagging along because of the whole situation that happened in season 1 with her. I think she still feels bad about it. She even brought it up.
Yeah, she mentions it at some point. She's like, still sorry for that, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, that's the past. This is now. So I kind of like that little snippet.
Yeah, and they work well with each other, too. It's incredible how well they work with each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, you have Welf, who has, like, the long sword. He's kind of like their long distance in their tank. You have, Belle, who's, like, got the little knife, almost like, kind of like half melee, half cutty eye. And then you have her, who's got the katana. It's just like, a great compliment to the whole dichotomy. And then Lily, who is got a little bit of a long range weapon. She's got some magic, but she's more support than anything else.
Yeah.
It's a good matchup. They work well together.
Yep, they really do.
So I agree with you on that. Now, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the scene at the pub.
The bar scene. Yeah, the
Yeah.
animation and the action sequence that took place in there was phenomenal. It was really good.
Dude, I just want to talk about this little snot. I know he looks like a kid, but I'm gonna guess he's probably not, considering he's probably more
Yeah.
like Finn Jr.
You can say that. I think if I notice, I think they were half breeds. I don't know if they really are or not. I don't know what the correct term is. They were like half human, half monsters because they had ears. So they were like Lily, I guess.
Well, he didn't. He doesn't have ears.
They didn't?
No.
Hmm.
Well, because like Lily has that, Otaro has that, and
Yeah.
there was one of the guys in the background did, but the little kid didn't. Like,
Ah, okay.
I actually have the picture up here, but yeah, no, like he's clearly more than meets the eye here, but dude
Yeah.
was talking some mad smack.
Yeah. I was one of the few that really wanted to go in there and punch the screen.
I can just see you at home shaking the monitor. Get him! Get him!
Especially for what he said. He was talking that mad
Look.
shit on Hestia, and that's one thing you don't want to do.
Dude, that was the part that really got me. When he starts talking mad shit about Hestia, I was like, it's getting real, but Bell usually keeps his cool in those situations. Nah, he was losing it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
He was about to snap.
well, what's interesting is this is a big character shift for Bell. Because remember, Bell usually he was pretty
Shy.
subdued, and I won't even say shy. Like, he was just kind of meek. And now we're seeing a Bell that's a little more aggressive. He's sure of his abilities. He's starting to step out there a bit. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that in my pro tag.
Yeah, it shows a little bit of confidence in him, especially after that fight with the Minotaur.
Oh, dude, he deserves it after the fight with that Minotaur and that huge the golem in the level 18. Oh my god,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
dude deserves to well, we'll talk. Phrasing.
But but yeah, no, Bell was about to snap, but funny enough, it wasn't Bell that actually, that threw the first punch. It was Well.
Well, he didn't throw a first punch. He threw the first cup.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, like I love that. It kind of like snaps back to the kid, and then he's sitting there just talking shit, and you see the cup just clock him in the face. It took me a minute because I really thought it was Bell at first, but then Wells stands up and he's just like, "What's up? Let's go." I was like, "Oh, okay. This is just gonna be a straight up bar fight." Got it.
and it was a straight up bar fight. It delivered.
Oh, it did. It was entertaining to watch until a point.
Yeah, that big Kahuna from the Apollo Familia, the level 3.
Oh my god. And what's interesting for me on this one, like we've seen Bell get beat up before, right? It's not
Yeah.
that uncommon. But this seemed more gruesome. This seemed more brutal and visceral than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it got a bit disturbing.
And old boy was like, "Hurting my comrades carries a high price." I was like, okay. It's like they're setting up the series for what's coming next.
Yeah. It was really disturbing to see, Bell being choked out and almost to death, too.
Yeah, like you could tell this was getting really serious. It was quite concerning.
Yeah, it really was. And thankfully it stopped. No thanks to, an like very surprising person.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't get a screenshot of that, but Bet stepping in
Yeah.
was not something I expected. I would think he would. Of course, I mean he just kind of gets annoyed by people pretty quickly.
Especially his behavior towards Bell. He really does not like Bell.
No.
So
Well-
it was pretty surprising to see him step up.
I imagine he probably has a little more respect for Belle than he lets on. He kind of seems like almost like the somewhat tsundere type, where because you can't have watched what Belle's done and sit there and go, yeah, he's weak, but damn it, he's trying his ass off.
Yeah, and you know where that pays off? In Sword Auditorium.
I know. Pitch for the second half of the first series. I know I haven't watched it. Shame on me. I'll go watch it. But yeah, I'm really I can't wait to see where this is going because this is getting pretty hype. But then naturally you have, obviously they go back to Hestia, and Hestia kind of does the whole, don't worry about it. If they're talking smack about me, meh, brush it off.
Hestia being Hestia, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I really do appreciate a little pep talk from Hestia.
Yeah, it's strange to see Hestia being the modest one. But, I mean...
Well, I mean, she cares for her only one and only child. Bella's the only one in her family, and that's it.
I get it. I understand. It makes sense. It's just one of those. I enjoyed watching Belle be a badass. I want to see more of Belle being a badass. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, we might see it.
I know.
If things to come.
We'll get to that. All right. Then he went to the what you call it, the guild, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, his conversation with Ino, where she's like pretty much giving him the lecture as well.
Yeah.
And she said something interesting here that I do want to touch on. I think it's going to come into play later. She mentioned that if you kind of mess with the familias and you cause problems, it could be bad for the whole city.
Yeah. She did mention that. I think she's leaning on more to what she knows.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's seen this before, so...
Yeah. And then they get an invitation. Belle gets an invitation.
Oh, yeah.
He meets two new characters. Two brand new characters with, obviously a brand new cast or voice actors for these two. I think I only remember one of them. One of them was Cassandra. I forgot the other one.
I forget their names now. But yeah. Interesting characters. They did seem pretty menacing. I gotta give them that.
Well, one of them did. The redhead with it. The blue-haired one, she was pretty clumsy in her head.
Well, yes, but it also kind of seemed like she was like remorseful almost. Like the whole thing just had this air of, one was like, you done effed up now, and the other one was kind of like, I don't want to see where this is going.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing had its like air of, kind of, I don't know, it about to go down pretty much.
Yep.
So they get the invitation, and the invitation's actually, it's not all that bad on the surface.
Yeah.
It's to like a banquet, pretty much, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, it's a banquet for the gods.
Yeah.
I guess you could say it like your usual meetup for gods.
Yep. Now, this is probably one of the funnier parts of the episode, because this is where you finally get some interaction between Hestia and Loki, and I love
the little banter. It's so funny. It never gets old. I missed it.
And of course, just like Hestia brings Belle, who does Loki bring?
Her ice time.
Dude, it kills me so much. Like, Loki has such a crush on her, and Hestia has such a crush on Belle, and neither one of those two could really care so much. Like Belle is crushing on Eyes. I don't even know what Eyes is thinking. Eyes is just...
Yeah, all she's thinking is combat.
Yeah. She's just not even paying attention.
Yeah.
That's just...
This is the first time, actually, that Loki and Belle meet for the first time.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. There's a lot of characters he hasn't met face-to-face yet.
Yeah, and Loki wasn't, too impressed. But, I mean, that might be for a different reason.
Well, of course, Loki's going to be, like... Because she
her
knows
eyes.
he's got a thing for
Yeah.
eyes. And eyes did train him and all this stuff. So she's naturally going to be a little more cynical towards him.
Yeah.
So, my favorite part of the episode, 100%. What happens next? Freya walks in the scene.
Oh, you mean the part that I skipped?
Whatever. Dude, this part was so... Okay, I'm sorry. She walks in. She's got Otaro on her side. She just, like... And then they had the whole thing where they're like... Like, Hestia was straight up like, don't look at her. Just don't make eye contact with her. Every dude she looks at, like, falls under her spell. And I love... What are the two guys' names? I can't remember the damn names.
They're really hard to pronounce, but yeah, I know who you mean. The potion god and the potato god.
Yeah, exactly. And their respective... it's so awkward to call them children, but yeah. Come up and just, like, give them that little pinch on the posterior. It was killing me. They're like, good morning, Miss Freya. You know, like remember you ever had that hot teacher and you walk into her classroom and you're like, like, it was that look. And they're just like,
pretty much.
Yep. Get out of that trance. But then...
and this is the first time, actually. After that, this is the first time, actually, that Freya meets Belle.
Face to face, at least. She knows of him, but...
Yeah.
Dude, I love that interaction, too. Just walks up. She's looking all kind of like, you know, like Freya-ish. Gently lays a hand on the side of his face and is like, so we smashing tonight or what's up? Is that now pretty much what she said?
She did, but that doesn't make it any better.
Dude, he's just blank face the whole time. She's like, we hitting this? By we, I mean you hitting this? I'm offering it up. She could have just, like, sat there, laid back on the floor and spread eagle and been like, what's up now? And he'd have still been like, what? I don't understand. Dude was killing me the whole time.
So, you know, Hestia interrupted the whole sequence.
I
like,
know.
No, don't look at her. Get off of her.
Hands off! Mine! That whole thing was hilarious. Oh, man, speaking of hilarious. My man! Hermes! The greatest wingman of all of anime history. Dude, I love... Every time this guy comes in, he's just...
He delivers. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Hermes.
What?
But I'm not. Well,
hold up.
I didn't hate him. I don't hate him, but I'm not the biggest fan. But when I say that he made this episode, he made it much more funnier than it meant to be.
Then how could he not be? Look, we fighting. You don't even know how bad we fighting. Dude, Hermes is the man. All right, greatest wingman in all of anime history. And every scene he's in is absolutely just flawless. In fact, I just love the first time he shows up in the series and he's just basically regurgitating word for word everything Belle's grandfather said.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yes. So, but I love it. He shows up and he's just like, yeah, everyone here is looking nice, but check out my Osvi. Hey, what happens next?
That elbow.
Worth.
I freaking laughed out loud. It was like in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. for me when I was watching this. I laughed out loud.
Dude, that's that scene you couldn't help. Like I'm down here like in my basement watching this on my little computer monitor by my lonesome. You know, it's always that thing where if you're in a group of people, laughing's really easy. But if you're by yourself and you get a really good belly laugh out, that's the sign of real comedy. That was this scene. This scene broke me.
Yeah, it did the same for me. It was really funny. It came out of nowhere. That's the thing.
It did. But I mean, Hermes he basically stole the show. Like for the rest of the episode, that little pep talk with Belle he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like, how did you describe it last time?
It was I can't forget, but I think at that point he wanted to know what basically Bell's motive was, and I think he figured it out. He wanted because he his grandfather for Bell told him that always like look out for girls and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, he legit told him, like, you go find girls in the dungeon.
Yeah, and
And,
that's
you know,
that
save,
that's
was it save a pretty girl or something like that?
yeah, that has been Bell's motive, which aligns with freaking Hermes being a womanizer.
Whatever. He's a classy gentleman, sir. How dare you? Dude, I love, speaking of which, he walks up to Eyes. He knows now at this point that Bell, like, what Bell wants is he wants to get with Eyes, right? You know, it's not like not in a filthy way, like in a very pure, legitimate way. And I love Hermes. He just walks up and he's like, "May I have this next dance?" Oh, damn! I just realized, son of, I gotta run. Hey, Belle, would you mind taking over? Would you be cool with that? Is that gonna be a thing? I loved the whole thing was just beautiful, man.
Yeah, Bell and Eyes were both surprised for what he did.
Yeah, Ice had actually a little bit of a reaction. I don't know. Do you think she has a thing for Belle?
Uh,
Well,
I
let me
think
ask you this. Do you think it's?
I think he I think she aspires. I think he
I think
wants to
she
get stronger like him.
respects what he's about.
Yeah, because she knows that Bell is getting stronger really fast,
Yep.
and I think it is respect, and I think she wants to get stronger like him as well.
Well, she even didn't she say something last series about something about really looking up to him for what he did or something like that.
I think so.
Something like that. There's something to that effect. Yeah. So
And
there's at least there's a lot of respect there, if nothing else.
and you get more of it again in Sword of the Toria.
Look, it's not even a softball pitch. It's a fastball to the groin. I will get around to binging it soon. But I got to give Bell credit though. So he manned up, took her out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
They fumbled around a little bit, but when they finally got down to it, they actually managed to dance and have a good time, and it actually looked fairly impressive once they were done farting around for the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, with no help from the two gods, the potato god and the potion god, playing it smooth for him.
I know,
But
right?
yeah, but no, yeah, the scene was really good. I think fans of Bell and Ives, they were both happy for them. I think it was a nice moment for them.
Yeah, it was just a really, and it kind of solidifies that like Bell can kind of do anything he puts his mind to, sort of. That's kind of what I feel they're going for in this series. So
Yeah,
I thought it really solidified that. And Osby with the Hestia and Loki under each arm.
yeah. While they were dancing, this caused a lot of jealousy between three gods. Yeah, three gods.
Hestia, Loki, and my
Freya.
girl. I love Freya. I love the name of this file is just Freya Savage. She's like, Otaro, is it possible to bring a herd of minotaurs here? And he's just like, nope.
I mean, it was a savage moment. That one got me a laugh too, because it came out of nowhere as well.
Dude, she's just like, can you turn that up to 11 for me? And he's like, nah, no. Look, we about I can't even say it. I want to keep this a little cleaner than normal. I can't even say it. But they're about one thing, not that thing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Oh God,
The
we're at this
host of the
part.
banquet. Yeah, the host of the banquet, the one that sent out the invitations to everyone.
Yeah. When he first, I gotta admit, when he first walked out with the two girls that we saw before, it was kind of that you knew something was up, but the way they drew him, like he looks like really like with the sash and the I forget what it's called, but the little crown of leaves there. There's a specific name for
Yeah.
that, but whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Apollo was looking like a pretty chill dude, right?
Yeah, a normal, decent god.
That didn't last long.
Yeah.
Love the scene. This scene also killed me. The kid from the bar comes out and he's just all like wrecked and bandaged. He's got a cast on one leg and crutches and Apollo with. How do you describe that face?
A face that has a scheme behind it. Like he knows what he does.
Think? It almost looks like the damn Grinch. No. You remember the screenshot I'm using here? Tell me that face doesn't look like the damn Grinch.
It does. It does.
I can't. So the worst part is when I was watching the episode, I'm like, this is the part where you're like, oh shit, it's going down. But now I'm looking at the screenshot, I'm looking at his face, and I'm dying because that expression is hilarious. And the whole situation is so over the top. But the way they displayed it to you in the episode, you're like, oh, these people are not nice.
Yeah, no, they know what I think I have a feeling that this is not the only time they've done this.
You think? What gives you that idea?
Well, no, I say that because
No.
scene,
Go, be specific. You know what you mean.
no. As I'm saying, the only reason I say this is because um, this is where Apollo challenges Hestia's Familia, or rather
Yes.
Belle, to war games. And as soon as he said war games, everybody around him, oh, war games, this, finally.
Dude,
So,
everybody around him was like it was half and half, really. It was like some people were like, yes, war games. Other people were like, oh shit, it's going down.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I that's the only reason I say this, because I'm pretty sure this is not the only time he's done this.
I feel ya. I mean, trolling aside, I get it. Like he seems like a warmonger. Like
Yeah.
you know, is this really Apollo or is this Ares?
Terrible.
But I mean, real talk. But nah, he's not a nice person. And what was the thing that
Hermes said that he's
Yeah.
spiteful. Yeah.
or he said he's spiteful. He also said something else at the beginning.
No, I'm pretty sure it was he's
No, no,
spiteful.
no.
And that a lot of.
He said he's always got some kind of affair going on.
Oh yeah, that.
And the weird one about that, so I just want to talk about that for a moment, because it's something that's not in the anime yet. They did say that they implied that Hestia's had something in the past with him, so clearly there's some kind of background there. I'm assuming we're going to learn about.
Yeah, something happened in the heavens between those two.
But what interests me about that is in the prequel that we had in Memoria Freeze, which if you guys aren't playing the gacha game, I know it's just a gacha game, but DanMachi Memoria Freeze is such a really good game, even though it is just at the heart and soul of it a gacha. We keep getting stories, like the story we got now that's all original for it and written by the original author was supposed to be its own like light novel and kind of didn't go there, just kind of became this story. Like, it's really good right now. So if you're not playing the game, jump on that. But the story we got that was the prequel to Belle and Hestia, where kind of Hestia dropped that she has to stay a virgin.
Yeah.
So, like, what... interesting how that's going to work out with this. I wonder if they're going to mention that.
They might, because those stories from the game are, some of them are very canon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the only thing that's not canon are the crossovers, and that's kind of to be expected. But because what did Apollo say he wanted if he won?
He wanted Belle. He wanted Belle for himself.
No. How did he say it?
Nah, I'm not gonna recreate that.
I'm like the tongue sticking out, and all. I'm like, oh my god, everybody wanted to be smashing Belle. I'm like, I get it, like you know, like I get wanting to, swing it both ways. There's nothing wrong with that. It's 2019. Who am I to judge, right? Except this dude apparently, they're like, he's like, I'm gonna smash him, I'm gonna smash her, I'm gonna smash them, I'm gonna smash the gerbil, then I'm gonna smash the house plant. Because everybody getting some today. That's like Apollo up in here. What the hell is wrong with this dude?
Hold up. Did you say gerbil?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Something ain't right.
I also said house plant. Look, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your gerbils, hide your house plants, because he's smashing everybody up in here. That is Apollo.
Yeah.
100%.
And we're going to get to know more about Apollo in the next episode.
Yeah, I think the whole next episode is going to be the Apollo episode.
Yeah.
Should we name our next live stream live from the Apollo?
Where can I find you here? Is there any way?
What?
I'll just deal with it at the end later.
Oh God! Please don't. I have a family. Good. There are fates worse than death. Gee, many Christmas. Anyway, yeah, the next episode's looking like it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, like I said at the beginning of this, it unfortunately did take us quite a bit of time to get this working, but I think we got a working format here. So the next episode will be out tomorrow, so you got a little less than 24 hours to digest all of this, or whatever you want to call it. Spec, do you have any final thoughts before we go?
I did wanted to say something. You know how Apollo wants Belle?
End call. Yeah.
You know how Apollo wants Belle? Makes you wonder what's going through Freya's mind when he said that.
That's actually an interesting point. I hadn't really honestly given that sincere thought, aside from, the bring more Minotaurs.
Yeah.
But, so clearly his Familia's not really one that needs to be trifled with.
Yeah,
but Freya's Familia is pretty crazy too.
Freya's Familia is the one that has the top dog overall in Horario. Think about that. Otaro.
But we haven't seen too much of the rest of her Familia.
You don't
remember, one person's only so good.
You don't need to.
They insinuated her Familia's top dog, but we might find out.
Okay, to be fair, there was one character that was introduced in the game that was part of Freya Familia. It is Anya's brother. He was introduced in the Christmas special. If you read that.
I'm trying to remember him. Either way. So the Freya Familia obviously is not one to be really trifled with. Loki Familia is not really one to be trifled with. I'm gathering Apollo. So it's one of two things. Either he knows his Familia is not to be trifled with, or he kind of feels that after all this, then he has something to prove.
Yeah.
Could go either way. Interesting point, though. I wonder if Freya's even honestly worried about it, if her Familia is that badass.
Or maybe she's confident in Belle. Yeah. Because she knows about Belle, so I'm pretty sure she might be confident in him.
Well, remember the first series, all the stuff that really happened was her really just trying to progress Belle as a character. So, though it may not have been necessarily the nicest ways to do it, but she did a lot of sinister background things that kind of were intended to make Belle stronger. Hell, the whole Minotaur thing was pretty much on her and Otaro. So,
yeah, well,
you might have a point there.
Yeah,
you might actually have a really good point.
We'll see more in the next episode. Then let's see what happens.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll find out tomorrow.
Maybe it'll pick up after the banquet scene and that scene.
Man, that's. I didn't think I could get more hype, but now I'm actually more hype for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I suppose that is going to be the. Anything else you want to say before I sign off?
No, I'm
All
just
right, cool.
excited for the next episode.
Yep. Well, I'm super excited for the next episode, guys. So that is our review of the 24-minute first episode of DanMachi Season 2. And we just wasted 35 minutes of your time. So
Wait, debatable.
follow my Birdman. Hit me up on Booker. Hit a like from my old boy Spectre. Shout him out in the comments section down below if you want. I don't know. Do you want to pimp your Birdman?
I guess you can follow me at Spectastic91.
There you go. Give my man a follow. We'll put him in the description down below. We will catch y'all in about 24 hours. Well, a little more than that. 36 hours when we do the review of the next episode. Hopefully see y'all then.
Later.